What is happening, Leeds United fans? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back, and we're back talking Leeds United, and it's all good things. It's all good things. So maybe this won't do very well, but no, these are good problems to have in terms of things that I'm going to be speaking about today. We're going to speak about Matel Joseph, Brendan Aronson's impact on the team, and we're also going to speak about a problem that we may have coming forward in terms of if Solomon does return, does he take Ramazani's place? So listen, before we get into that, please hit a like on the video. It really does help out the channel. Subscribe and, of course, drop your comments below. Thank you to Mr. P, who donated a super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated, Mr. P. Mr. P is also a member of the channel, and salute to all my members of the community. It really does go a long way. And if you want to become a member of the channel, the link is in the description. Now, before I get into Leeds United stuff, we're usually on the other end of this where we give managers lifelines. We give teams a way back into form. Well, the Cardiff manager has bit the bullet. You know, there you go. Give me a clap right there. But he has been sacked. I'm surprised he didn't get sacked before the Leeds game. I thought they would have tried to get a new manager bounce ahead of the Leeds United game. But we sealed his fate after a long spell of absolutely woeful form. You saw them. They're probably one of the worst teams we've ever played. And probably the only worst one I can think of is Birmingham City last season, where they were just absolutely awful. But yeah, Cardiff City relieved their manager of their duties. We're not we're not the gift that keeps giving in this one. We've actually sealed someone's fate. So there you go. I'm sure he'll bounce back, and I'm sure he'll have a nice compensation package. You won't be hurting for money. But yeah, it's nice that Leeds United have actually sealed someone's fate rather than help them bounce back. Now, another subject, of course, is being Brendan Aronson and people not being happy with his form. And I'm still waiting for people to give me your full thoughts as to why you're unhappy with Brendan Aronson. Now, listen, numbers are numbers, and we've seen that. And the one that comes to mind is Bruno Fernandes, who I've never been convinced of as a good player. I don't think he's a good player. But when he was getting that goal and assist, you know, people just couldn't stop talking about him. He's one of the best midfielders. Well, he's not. But in terms of for us, Brendan Aronson, I know what I'm looking to get from Brendan, and he's delivered. He's delivered. Even when we needed to seal the game against Cardiff City, that was a lovely pass, very underrated pass to Joel Peru. And even if you go back to the Burnley game when he put Nanto through, good vision. And one thing that has been criticized from Brendan Aronson is his final ball, him needing to get his head up. Well, you know, when you look at this, and this is courtesy of LUFC data, Brendan Aronson has been directly involved in 3 of the last 7 goals Leeds have scored, 2 goals, 1 assist. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good rate, people. So that's why I say, in terms of Brendan Aronson, I'm happy with what I've seen from him. I don't expect him to be a dominant, you know, force in the midfield, but I do expect him to get numbers, and I do expect him to pop up in moments where he influences the game, and he's doing that. So for me, I've got no complaints. But like I say, whatever complaints you have about Brendan Aronson, please put them in the comments, because I'd love to know what else you'd like to see from him in terms of what he's given during the game. Would you like him to get on the ball a bit more? Would you like him to shoot a bit more? Just, you know, give me the people that aren't convinced about him. Please give me your reasons why you're not convinced up to this point. Another one who's been called, actually, seen it a few times in terms of Joseph. He's not scoring enough. He's not doing this and that. Well, you know, Joseph, I mean, this is what it is. He's registered 3 assists in the Championship this season. West Brom's Tom Fellows is the only player with more, with 4. But when you look at this overall, it goes to what I've said about Matel Joseph, not just giving you goals when he's not getting the service. He's actually getting involved in them. And this is, again, from courtesy of LUFC data. Matel Joseph has been directly involved in 4 of the last 6 goals Leeds have scored, 1 goal, 3 assists. Now, when your striker's not scoring, ideally you want those numbers to be reversed. You prefer him to get 3 goals, 1 assist. But if he's not getting the opportunities to score, or the service isn't there, this is a great way to keep him getting involved. And this goes to the whole thing about link-up play. This goes into being involved in the game when you're not getting opportunities. Joseph's doing that. And, you know, I've seen a few calls for him to be dropped. I would say if Daniel Farke dropped this kind of production from the team, I think he'd get questioned even more. Because then if Joel Peru comes in, or the other one comes in, and they don't perform to the standard that Matel Joseph has been given, it will be like, well, why would he drop the player that's been directly involved in 4 or 6 Leeds goals? So you know what I mean? So once again, much like the Brendan Aronson ones, for people that want Joseph to go out, probably in place of Peru, because we know we're not going to get 2 up top. Ideally, that would be my solution. But what else is it you want to see from Joseph in terms of, if he's not getting the service into him, what else can he actually do then affect the game than he's doing right now? So for me, I would stick with Matel Joseph personally because I think he's doing a good job up there with room to improve even more. Has to be said from both him and the team collectively. But I think he's doing all right. I do. But listen, you give me your thoughts in the comments if you would still drop Mateo. The main thing though in this is, of course, our left-hand side. As we've seen, largely Ramazani voted by the fans with 49% of the vote was the player of the match versus Cardiff, and he was impressive. And he was seeing a lot of the ball down that side, as we know. We spoke about Jaden Bogle being ignored on the right for a lot of it when he was in really good positions. But Ramazani was really good in terms of that. Very interesting was that Ampadu got 10%, which is good because I thought Ampadu had a real good game against Cardiff. But the thing is with Ramazani, his best role is obviously off the left. We know that, but so is Manor Solomon, I should say. And it's going to be interesting. These are just interesting problems to have. Now, me, I've got a simple solution. I would put Solomon on the left, Ramazani on the right, and I'd move Aronson into Gurev's spot because Aronson for me is he's a Swiss Army knife. I think if you want him to play right, he can do that. If you want him to play near the 10, he can do that. And I think he's much better as a roaming 8. So that way he can get forward when needs be, and he can get back as well to help out the defense. I think he can do both. Yeah, I'm not making Aronson out like he's the all-action hero, but I think he is capable of doing those roles in this division. To a lesser extent, people don't get offended, but like a Lebo, you're box to box in that way, where you can influence both ends of the pitch at this level. But when Solomon is declared fit, and this could be a moot point, we won't know about Solomon's fitness until the press conference, but if Solomon is fit and ready to go, how do you drop Ramazani from that spot after such a good performance and a game-winning performance, by the way, against Cardiff? How do you do it? And the only thing that comes to mind for me with Solomon is, and this is just guesswork, people. I don't know, and be free to have your guesses too. But if he has like a clause in his contract what says when he's fit, he needs to play like 75% of the games, otherwise the tone could be the loan, sorry, could be terminated in January. That's the only thing I can think of where that's the only way that you get Ramazani back on the bench if Solomon's declared fit for the game against Coventry, because otherwise it's tough to see how Ramazani comes out of the squad after such a good performance. It kind of doesn't make sense, and it kind of goes beyond that. If it's a meritocracy, then Ramazani should stay in the team and build off that performance. Plus, he's our player. I know that shouldn't matter, but he is our player. Solomon is a loan player, very expensive one, but he is not going to be here past this season. If Ramazani should be. So I would give priority to Ramazani. And before anyone says it, in terms of loans, Rothwell is, he's not better than some of the midfielders we got, so he doesn't automatically get in like Roden did last season. Just so anyone doesn't get confused there. But it's hard to take out Solomon as well because he is an X factor at this level. That's what I'm saying. These are good problems to have. So I ask you people, what would you do if Solomon is declared fit? Does he come back in for Ramazani? Do you move Ramazani out to the right? Do you put Solomon on the left? What do you do with those spots? Very interested to know your thoughts. Because for me, I would find a way to get both in, but we all know that double pivot is not going anywhere, and I certainly don't see it disappearing versus Coventry. Even though Coventry are not in the best of form, I still think if we are going to go to Cardiff City with a double pivot, we're going to go to Coventry with a double pivot. So I'm interested to know what you would do. Would you keep Ramazani in? Would you bring Solomon back in? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm very interested to find out. See, what we've got, people, there, what I've just discussed, we've got Joseph, we've got Aronson, we've got Ramazani, Solomon. These are all players that you would love to just get them all starting, but it's just not possible. And that is a great thing for Leeds United, the fact that we've got these kind of options at this level. So have at it, people. Have at it. Put your thoughts in the comments. Like the video before you go. Like I say, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and click the notification bell so you know when I'm going live or uploading like I'm doing with this one. And I'll see you in the next video, people. Peace out.